You ever just have one of those days where you're completely undiagnosed but very, very present in your life? ADHD just takes over and you can't really focus on anything, but you're kind of focusing on everything. And then as you're preparing to film the intro of a podcast, you realize that the reason you're tired and haven't been able to focus all day is because you haven't had caffeine.
Welcome to the Survivor 46 podcast.
Yes. Welcome back to me oversharing on the internet.
Aw, favorite show.
Yes. Anyway, hi. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. I say something gay. Today I'm just drinking water because I realized I haven't had any caffeine today. So I'm just going to stick with the trend of just drinking water because hydration is still very important. But before Jack does their thing, but if
I pressed a button. God
you
damn
did
it.
press a button. No, but like it's kind of a vibe.
It is kind of a vibe.
And you know what else is kind of a vibe, Jack?
What else?
A cup mug.
There we go.
Yes! Head off a cup mug.
My lights get exactly 0 time to press the button before it just goes.
I love it. The little bit of serotonin I'm getting from this is everything, Diva.
Can you tell we're fucking losing it?
Y'all, I'm so sorry. It's going to be one of those days. I'm so sorry. It's one of those days today. But you can get your cup mug and all of our other merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link is down in the description below. And we do ship domestically within North America currently and internationally sometimes, maybe. So there are some excuses. We're still working on it. Etsy distributors are not fun to deal with, as far as Lana has told me. So,
yay! I love Etsy.
They
served us so well until they didn't.
You know, we do love them, but like,
but also.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hi. My name is Jack. I'm the resident game designer of the panel, and you know what? I reliably can't say that I could tell 20 seasons in a row apart. I could tell you the last 6, and I could tell you a general order.
I could tell you the 2 before that.
That's reasonable. I can tell you when All Stars was before like fan versus favorites, before Game Changers.
I can tell you the exact number of watch me say the exact number and then not get it right. Isn't Kagiyan 29? Or is that San Juan del Sur? If I got that wrong, that's going to be the funniest thing in the absolute world. The Survivor Super
it is San Juan del Sur.
Okay, I was like, I know it's one of those. Kagiyan is 32?
Kagiyan is 28. It's the one directly before.
What the fuck?
And 30 was Worlds Apart.
So... I know 30 was Worlds Apart because that was a disaster. Wow, Kagiyan was the season before San Juan del Sur?
I mean, I don't fully blame you seeing how season 32 was Brains versus Bronze versus Beauty again.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for mixing up those 2 seasons.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not the Survivor Superfan. That's David, and he's not here today to talk about the Survivor Superfan Challenge, aka what I'm calling the Brandon Donlin Challenge. We'll talk about it, but
what I'm just calling a straight up org comp at this point.
Oh, it's literally an org comp, but we'll talk about it. We're here talking about episode 5 of Survivor 46. What we found out in the preview for next week is the last episode of pre-merge. This is a little different because I'm so used to new era seasons. It would be episode 7 is merge, I believe.
Was it always episode 7?
I believe it was always 6 eliminations. before
Probably,
pre-merge.
and I'm just not remembering it. But
Or it might have been 5 and 45, and I don't remember.
It was definitely 5 and 45. Jeremiah was number 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, Jeremiah was number 6. But yes. Okay, well, was that?
Oh, that's why, because Hannah Rose is listed as a quit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So in 44, it was 6. So that's a new change for 45 and 46. Is that we're only doing 5 eliminations before merge. Mind you, also we have to factor in that 44 also had Bruce. Bruce the first time.
Yeah.
So their jury was a lot smaller. But
yeah, I mean,
or their merge,
also,
or everyone who made merge made jury. That's what I meant to say.
I believe, if I'm looking at it right, 41 and 42 had 7 eliminations before merge.
Oh.
43 and 44 had 6. But
and now 45 and 46 have 5.
so 44 and 45 share the same thing, where someone quit.
Yep.
So technically 5 vote out, but also kind of not. It's weird.
It's very strange, and I'm excited to see what the merge looks like on this cast with 13 people.
That's why, because I didn't factor in the fact that there's an evacuation and a quit for 44. So there are 7 eliminations there. So yeah, no, this is the earliest we've had. We've had 5 vote outs.
Yep.
Vote outs now in question marks, because I guess Banu didn't get voted out.
Well, Banu technically got voted out.
Banu got thrown out. Banu was just...
Everyone said
Banu
bye,
had a whole
Banu.
episode to kick Banu down.
Yep, and that's where we start this episode. But before we dive into this, what is probably going to be a mess of Jack and I looking at facts the entire time, make sure to subscribe, because this is the quality content that y'all are looking for.
We're doing great.
Yes, we're here covering almost all things reality TV. We've got a lot of fun reality TV content coming on the way. If you want, go check out our cast for House of Villains season 2 that we popped up out of nowhere yesterday. Very excited for that. We've got the GOAT coming up soon with a lot of people that I love that are all going to be on TV together. So I'm very excited about that. So make sure to subscribe here, hit the bell, do all the lovely things. Make sure to go check out all 3 of our other channels as well for Almost All Things Drag, Almost All Things Eurovision Song Contest, and Almost All Things Wrestling Recaps over on our new channel, The Cup Ringside. We got a lot of shit coming to y'all all the time. So, like we said, Banu got kicked out in last episode. And
I kind of want to start this episode, weirdly enough, with how the actual episode starts, with a recap of every single person's advantage left in the game.
Yeah, so the intro is literally just, it's basically running through the journeys, running through the Beware advantages. I almost said legacy. Remember the legacy advantage?
That thing was that's good game design, because you can tell that people do stupid fun things to make things happen. But instead, we have a journey where someone basically gives up and loses. We have a journey where someone randomly doesn't get to play and the other 2 have to deal with it. And then we have a journey again where, we get to that. But yeah, basically all of the journeys and or missions that have happened so far this season have busted. They just haven't worked. And that includes Savvy and Sweat, which both people failed. So no mini challenges have been won this season. Let's see if this one goes through. But we get reminded of Maria and Tevin's extra vote. We get reminded that Randon found the Beware advantage and then lost it. We get reminded that Tiffany found the Beware advantage episode 1 and has not had to do anything about it. Literally ever. Because she's never been in danger.
Well, she's had to do so many things about everything else pertaining to Survivor that, you know what? The universe said, girl, just have this idol. There you go.
Yeah.
Just have the idol. This is your idol. Have it. Anyway. But yes, so we got all of, we'll run through all of the advantages and stuff left in the game going into merge at the end of the episode before we close out. But yes, the Yanu 3 are back. They're happy that they are still 3. Kenzie is questioning whether 10 days without Flint is a Survivor record. And as we found out later, thanks to Jeff, 11 days without Flint is a Survivor record. And thankfully for them, they did not set 2 Survivor records in this one episode. And it almost happened. We'll talk about it. Jesus Christ. Do we want to go by tribe as far as everything we learn before the challenge?
Yeah. I mean, we can kind of just stay on Yanu for a moment. Just
I think
because
that's the smart way to go through. So Kenzie thinks that the tribe is cursed now because rain is coming through their tarp, and I felt so bad in this moment. I was just like, no, the one reward you got that you had to trade for the fish, and the tarp doesn't work.
Yeah. They're hungry. They haven't had fire for 10 days.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, it's Tiffany and Kenzie in the shelter. But Q is gone. Yeah. Q is off under a rock somewhere. And I mean, after the 10 to 11 days of basically all of their spirits being battered, Q considers quitting. And you know what? I don't fucking blame him. I'm going to be honest.
I really don't blame him. I feel like this season, more than most other seasons recently, we're getting so many human moments. And I did really feel that way with 45 as well. I mean, again, talking about our good friend Brandon Donlin. That's how I felt with Brandon as well. Just like seeing all of the human moments, even Hannah Rose being iconic and legendary and needing her vape. Like, you see so much more of like the human side of Survivor. And I really don't blame Q 10 days in at this point being like, I just don't know if I can keep going with all of this, like the universe just pouring down on us. Like, I don't know if I can do that. And I understand that 100% from Q.
I do also want to look just at the tribe dynamics of the tribe at this point. They all are essentially considering, we're going to lose probably again. There's only 3 of us. Who the hell are we going to vote out? Tiffany is basically in the middle and is essentially the deciding vote unless Q and Kenzie come together to blindside her. And if they do, she has an idol. But I mean, I think that's why Q is considering it, because he's like, okay, it's either me or Kenzie. And as much as I want to keep playing this game, well, as much as I know that I can just vote Kenzie out here, I don't know if I want to continue. But I mean, Q and Tiffany have a talk of like, you're not, I'm not letting you quit. Not letting you do that after this point, but yeah.
Like, you're not going to do that, but like, thanks for having a human moment.
Yeah.
Let's go to Nami, I guess.
Yeah, that feels the safest.
There's a little bit less about Nami. Hunter is worried about the idol not being found yet. Everyone's kind of off looking for an idol except for Liz,
who just doesn't want to do it.
Why is Liz here? I'm really starting to, like, every day, I'm really starting to question, why is Liz here? And also, I don't know why. And I don't know spoilers for this season. The one show I tend not to spoil myself on is Survivor, because I like being surprised when it comes to Survivor.
Are there spoilers for the show?
There are, yeah.
Oh, gross. Why?
I spoiled myself at like Final 6 last season just to see like what was gonna happen. But yeah, it's usually just elimination spoilers. If you want to go look for them, audience, you probably could online. It's a quick Google search. But I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying, like, if you really want to, like, that information is probably out there. What I will say though is I feel like Liz is getting the perfect merge boot edit.
Yeah.
I don't really know why, and we're not seeing any of her in next week's preview, which also confuses me. But like, she is getting the perfect merge boot edit at this point. The only way I don't think she's a merge boot at this point is if they confuse her with Mo.
Yeah, no, quite literally, I am confused why Liz is here. At this point, all we have seen her do is plug her company and not do anything else. Like, she's cheered for her team. I mean, I could not tell you any standout performances she has. We literally have her and Mariah who look the fucking same. So I think she tried to apply for Big Brother just to promote her show, promote her brand, and fucked up. And got on the wrong plane. And instead of going to LA, she just kind of like went south to Fiji instead. It's the only way I can explain what the fuck happened. But
I don't know.
I mean, the only person who kind of knows what's going on is Venus.
Well, Venus knows what's going on because she knows that Randon walked out of the game with the Beware advantage. And so it's probably rehidden. But before Hunter does find the Beware advantage, we have what might be the single most awkward conversation I've seen on Survivor in a minute.
Yeah.
Where Venus straight up tells Hunter to his face, oh, yeah, no, like, everyone kind of thinks you're a target. And, like, I also think you're a target, but I'm not going to vote you out because you're definitely a great meat shield for me. Venus, girl, I was on board with you. I was supporting you. I was like, let's get Venus some allies. Let's get Venus some support. I'm your Venus. No.
Venus fell out of the fucking solar system.
Venus, girl. Venus.
Unfortunately,
Did the planets
she served a little too much.
Did the planets use all of the good Venus energy on Venus from Canada's Drag Race and left none for you? Is that what happened? Girl.
I think Venus is in retrograde. Like, that's the only way to explain it. And yes, I know.
Could you imagine if Venus was in retrograde while Venus was on Survivor?
But yeah.
Like, girl, what are you doing, girl?
This is like the Emily Flippin edit, but played completely straight.
Oh my god, she's kind of Emily Flippin.
She's Emily Flippin, but no one is telling her you are out of line. Well, people are telling her she's out of line, and then she's not going to tribal, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Liz is the obvious boot. If not Liz, then it's Venus. But I mean, they've never gone to tribal, and they've been so strong because of fucking Hunter. And unsurprisingly, Hunter gets even stronger. By God damn it, he finds the Beware advantage.
Well, not really, because he finds the Beware advantage, knows where the Beware advantage is. And I do love that we got this lovely little tidbit in here where he made sure in an ADR line to go, and if my tribe doesn't go to tribal, there is another opportunity for me to get my vote. So at that moment, I was like, all right, so is Yanu going back to tribal or is Siga going to tribal? Because I'm like, they're not going to plant that in this episode if Nami loses the immunity. Like, that's not going to happen. So Okay.
I will also say I do want to praise the editors here. Hunter, as he's talking through, goes, they're definitely going to show a clip of me being like inches away from the Beware advantage. And at that moment, they perfectly zoom in on the Beware advantage. And I'm happy they're taking fun of it because it's so dumb. It's so absolutely dumb, but it's enjoyable to watch the editors finally be able to just have fun. And we kind of see it later on as well, but we'll get to it.
We sure will.
At this point, the only major, we kind of cover everything at Nami. We can go to Sega.
Yeah, that's literally all that happens at Nami. Like, we don't see anything else. So Sega. We see Charlie and Ben. They've obviously bonded. They've got a lot of bonding. And it's the Jem and Mo versus the Tim and Ben, and Charlie and Maria are still the number one, and they're still, in the middle, and they're still, on the tightrope of the tribe. And then later on, we get one of the best confessionals I think I've ever seen. Where Tim is having a private conversation with Tiki Man, as he's called the idol. And this just felt like a wellness check confessional. Where he's just like, no, I feel good. I'm hungry. I'm worried because I haven't pooped. But, like, I feel good. Me!
My physical body may be breaking down, but yeah, no, I'm fine mentally, I guess.
Yeah, I might not have eaten and my physical body's breaking down and I'm putting myself through way too much torture. And, like, I haven't pooped. But, like, I'm okay. I'm fine. Yeah. Party.
Great. Party. Lovely.
Yeah, party.
And then we move on again to Tim. Once again, just kind of like talking, specifically this time to Jem, because I mean, once again, everyone has kind of figured, okay, so someone knows where the Beware advantage is and just re-hit it for everyone to find. Tim just directly accuses Jem of having it. He's right, but like
He's 100% locked in and fine, but I'm like,
he has no evidence. It's just vibes.
I was like, how did we get to this conclusion? Like, okay, work. Like,
yeah,
sure.
And of course, at this point, Jem is like, no.
Panic.
If I had a fucking idol, I would have already found the fucking idol. How fucking dare you?
Panic. Like, she is in panic mode. And then directly accuses her of being the leader of a girls' alliance. To which I said, sir, you have no evidence for this, but also, you're not wrong.
I mean, I guess.
I'm like, what are we not? This is why I'm so upset that we haven't seen anything from Sega, because this makes no sense to me. How did we get to this conclusion other than Jem just being weird about everything?
My honest guess is that these people are going crazy because they're the only tribe that's never lost anyone. I mean,
they're one of two tribes that had never been to tribal. Yeah. But yeah, they haven't lost anyone. They're still 6 strong, 10 days into the game.
So they've never had to play the game.
Pure paranoia?
I think at this point, it's pure paranoia of, wait, we know someone has the Beware advantage. Like, it's not a question at this point. The only logical conclusion is someone has it and someone's lying. And you know what? We're going to go salsa dance for a little bit. But at the same time, we all know someone's lying.
This salsa dancing bullshit. This salsa dancing bullshit, Jack.
What else are they going to do? They literally have nothing.
Teach Mo how to jump again. I don't know. Like,
I cannot believe it was a fucking segment.
can we talk about how last episode, and we talked about it last episode, there was a whole segment about teaching Mo how to jump. Because they all thought it was going to be the keys hanging off the thing, just for it to not be.
Completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant, but it's so funny.
Completely irrelevant. This season is so funny. That's honestly where I'm like, oh, this season's so fun and funny. And no one's taking themselves too seriously, except for probably Q at this point. I don't know.
Because 2 of the 3 tribes straight up have not had to play the game. Yep. Like, that's genuinely what's happened. It's just one tribe has been steamrolled, and this is the result. I mean, finally, we're getting something. And I mean, the only reason we aren't down to 2 people on Yanu is because Randon had to go.
Yeah.
Like, we nearly have a Mat Singh. And, like, we get to that. But, like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Can you tell I haven't been here for, like, the past 3 weeks and I have thoughts?
I know, literally, and I love it. I love all of the... Remember Banu?
Remember this bullshit? Remember Banu getting an entire episode where he just falls?
Remember Jelinski getting an entire premiere just to see his utter downfall?
The worst opening period. Like, oh my god. Anyway.
Remember when this entire cast dragged Andy Herron within an inch of his life for saying that the season was boring? Remember that, Jack?
Just like casual, yeah, so I don't enjoy your season either, but it's not because it's boring, it's because it's fucking racist. Just fun things, you know?
Anyway, let's dive into the immunity challenge. It's the classic 3-level obstacle course situation. Jump down, jump over, jump in. To get to a pole where they have to release sandbags to slingshot to targets, knock down 3 targets, with the reward being pastries and fruit. I was like, this is a lovely little reward. Oh, how great.
Especially after Yanu has been fucking begging for food.
My favorite part of this whole sequence is when Jeff gets to Siga and he's like, all right, Siga, Marie and Jem have to play because they sat out. Who else is playing?
Like, literally, I'm trying to go through the logistics here. If they were at 2 people, they would have had to have just swapped them at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because
they literally would have had to just swap them.
There would be too many sit-outs on both tribes, so they would have to break their own rules. I mean, they've broken their own rules before, and it's like a 2-season precedent, but still. But I mean, maybe fucking Yano will win today. Who knows? But I mean, we go through it. Kenzie takes forever on the obstacle course and basically puts them a whole person behind.
Yeah. And then by the time they get through all of the people, Q has basically caught up and then has them fall behind again because he doesn't get the... I don't know why they had him do it.
He's tallest, I think.
I guess. I don't know. I probably would have had like Tiffany do it or something. But it's, it's pretty much a Nami blowout. Shocker. I'm so surprised.
Wow, Nami wins again.
Wow. Okay. I love how much everyone was underestimating Venus's performance in challenges, and not only did she do really well in the playground situation thing, but she also got her target on the first try, and I said, "Good for you, Diva." So Nami wins. And they get the big reward. Sure.
I also just want to touch on how much Hunter has just been destroying challenges. Like,
Carrying.
what the actual fuck? I mean,
Carrying.
good on him for literally using his degree in science to just like use Tevin as a goddamn weight to pull himself over.
Yeah.
Like, and then he nails immediate throws. Like, this man is a brand new Aussie. Like, I'm not even gonna lie about that. He's just absolutely destroying challenges. And if there wasn't two other very intriguing stories, he would be celebrated more. And I think he's probably going to win a couple merge immunities and then eat shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope he's ready to win out.
Yeah.
Because that's the only real way he's making it to the end of this game. But yeah, so Nami wins. It comes down to Siga and Yanu, as it has every challenge. And the ladies on both tribes do a pretty dang good job at getting their targets hit. It comes down to Tim versus Q. And who's going to get it? And it's a back and forth, and then they both miss. And then they both miss. And then Tim gets the slingshot a little hooked, mixed up. And then Q takes his shot, and we get a 30-second slow-mo shot of a sandbag flying through the air. They cut to every single member of Yanu, and also Tim, and I think also Jeff. And then they go back to the sandbag just to see that the sandbag does hit the target. And Yanu actually wins a fucking immunity challenge.
There are two fun things to talk about here. One of them is this episode, and one of them is throughout the entire season. Yay, Yanu finally wins. They don't have the longest ever record for most challenges lost. There are some interesting parallels here. So, funnily enough, Mat Singh, one of the first times this slow-mo was used was when Mat Singh was going down from 3 people to 2. Malcolm swings. I think it's Malcolm or Denise. Malcolm throws the bag because it is the clay pot swinging challenge and misses. And then someone from the opposing tribe swings and it misses. And then in a slow-mo replay smashes it on the way back. Then I want to say we have 42 with a very, very similar shot where we see a slow-mo with everyone's faces and the sandbag goes and it just slightly misses and then the other tribe gets it again. So after, I want to say, like 26 seasons, we finally see this slow-mo shot used for a tribe that actually wins for once. And like, holy shit, it take too long. But also, this challenge, at least the ending of it, was used on 42 when this final slow-mo happened. Now the other part. The interesting thing about this whole season is Jess was called out for being a challenge liability. Tim is one of the biggest challenge liabilities I have seen in a goddamn while.
Wow.
I mean, he did complete the challenges, but he also repeatedly and basically single-handedly cost Siga time at multiple challenges. He nearly lost the last one for them because he decided to jump onto a platform and tip it for a good 5 minutes, which
Twice.
was twice actually.
In one
that
episode.
makes it even better. I want to say in the episode even farther, he repeatedly can't get it onto the target. No, he tries to jump in the water to dig up to get stuff done, and he still can't do that. Tim has actively taken leadership roles and challenges and has repeatedly screwed up. And also with the knot tying, with the sandbag for this one, he also didn't do that great.
Neither did Maria, to be fair. And I was going to say Maria is kind of someone else who, hasn't performed the best in challenges so far either. So,
but we're so deep into the season that you can't judge tribe strength because the tribe's going to be dissolved any fucking moment. So, Yanu wins. They get a little bit of fruit and pastries. Nami takes almost everything again. Great.
But hey.
But of course.
They got it. They got something.
They got something.
And yes, of course, now we're going on a journey.
Yay!
And we're broing out on this journey, Jack. Broing out. Because it's Hunter, and it's Tim, and it's Q. And I said, oh, God.
Where can I get a goddamn cinder block to throw in the air and smash me in the head? I don't want to see this.
Well, they do take the opportunity because they're kind of figuring, merge is probably going to happen here soon. They're all physical threats. So they basically come up with a final six strategy where it's Q and Tiffany, Tim and Maria, and Hunter and Tevin, where they're all going to pull their number one in to this alliance.
Yeah.
Now, Q and Tiffany, absolutely. That makes complete sense. Hunter and Tevin makes complete sense. Absolutely. Tim and Maria?
That's going to work.
Tim and Maria.
Not Tim and Ben or Tim and Charlie, which would make more sense based on what we've seen. Tim and Maria. Is there something we're missing?
I feel like there's a lot we're missing.
Yeah.
So, and again, we're getting a different twist on the journey, which I do appreciate. So they have to discuss which one person will compete in a survivor knowledge task. And they pick Hunter.
I feel weird about this because, okay, so we've gone from 3 people competing in a social-based task to 2 people being randomly drawn to 1 person being selected. I mean, I guess if I had to prefer something, I'd prefer all of them play or one of them gets selected by the group. But also, I want to say this is the first time on US Survivor that we've had a challenge that is basically, do you know past seasons? Like, this is one of the first times that previous season knowledge has actually been useful in the new era, where apart from like last season, previous seasons really haven't been mentioned. It's been treated almost like a new show. It's confusing, but okay, I guess. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hunter goes, and this is the org challenge / what I'm calling the Brandon Donlin challenge. Because if there is one person who would have done this challenge so perfectly with no issues whatsoever, and this should have been the challenge that he competed on Survivor 45, and I am forever angry about that, it's Brandon Donlin. You have 20 Survivor logos. Put them in order chronologically.
And of course, Hunter's a big fan of the show. He didn't watch them in order. He's fucked.
I don't know anyone that watches Survivor seasons in order. I certainly didn't.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Most guides online tell you watch certain seasons kind of in order so you can understand what happens when you get to a lot of returnee seasons. Yeah. But
you could also follow Owen's full Survivor guide, which I've actually given to people.
That's exactly the guide I'm referencing.
Yeah, Owen Knight from 43 has an entire guideline system for his personal picks for seasons to watch based on priority level. I have to say, I think San Juan del Sur is criminally low on his list, but for the most part, I do tend to agree with his list, and I think it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. And I mean, I think most people in the community, probably like most people who watched and enjoy the show and are talking about it on Twitter, could probably do this. Like, this is, if you've seen enough Survivor, the answer is probably yes, that you could do this.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Hunter only started watching it during the pandemic, watched the seasons out of order, and doesn't know them. And
he knows them. He can name several moments from every season, and oh boy, did he!
This is literally just the editors pulling out things.
Literally, and in this one segment, I was like, I see exactly who he pulls all of his inspiration from. Yeah, he's gonna bro down and merge.
At least they pulled out the Debbie clip so we could understand how every single person is feeling during this. It's bad.
And I'm pissed! I love Debbie. I love Debbie so much. Is it time for a Game Changers rewatch? Maybe.
No, sorry. You're thinking of Second Chances, which Debbie's actually on.
Thank you for getting the joke.
But
that was very intentional. I know she was on Game Changers because, oh boy, that woman is a game changer.
Game-changing amount of professions.
Literally, I think that's why she was on Game Changers. I think that's the only reason.
And you know what? Good for her.
She provides me so much entertainment on several levels, and I do love her for that. But yeah, obviously Hunter only gets 8 out of 20 seasons, so he doesn't have a vote.
Yeah,
which he already didn't have.
Yeah, this is a double no vote. Like, literally,
so does he now not have 2 votes?
Maybe. I mean, I guess this is more of a temporary debuff where it's like you lose your vote at the next tribal council versus the Beware advantage being you lose your vote permanently until you do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the intent. So I guess the answer is yes. He loses it at 2, but it's unclear, and it will be decided by the Survivor gods because, of course, it will be. Now, I want to quickly comment on something because this is the worst season in terms of journey performances. And I'm going to include the Sweat and Savvy task because we might as well just add them to the mini challenge list. Sweat was failed because Jelinski gave up. Savvy was failed because Ben and Charlie couldn't get it together in time. Then we have the actual journey for the episode being the social bluff challenge, which Jelinski basically gives up on, destroying the point of the challenge, which, I mean, at least someone got something out of it. Yes. And then we have the block puzzle during episode 3, which Banu breaks down at and loses along with Ben. And then now we have this one where Hunter fails.
Yep.
There have been 0 mini challenge wins this entire season. And it could just be bad luck. I mean, technically, one of them doesn't even count as a loss because 2 people won. It just was pointless because someone gave up. But I really hope they consider why all of these journeys failed. Because the selection methods were fine. But having basically let me just make sure I have the count right here. Jelinski's vote went Jelinski, Ben, Banu, and Hunter all lost their vote from Journeys.
Yep.
And then we had 4 other people lose their vote due to the Beware advantage.
Mm-hmm.
7 different people lost their vote.
Mm-hmm.
7
Mm-hmm.
of a tribe of a total cast of 18.
Mm-hmm.
That should be an issue. That's nearly half the cast.
I'm ready for these to be over.
Yeah, I mean, sure, implement on the journeys more. I think it's enjoyable to like have that social starting twist, and I think they just got unlucky because Jelinski was going to give up on everything. But everything else, if people are losing their vote that much, and you have that many advantages that are just going to waste, there should be something in place to do something about that, and you really need to consider the game design because it's going very poorly. Anyway, that's the end of my rant.
Great, thanks. So, obviously, Yanu, we get a good chunk of Yanu being celebrating. They're excited. They have their pastries, their fruit. We get a confessional from each of the 3 of them being like, "We won, yay!" And then we just go to Sika. Where Jem is racing back to find a clue to her idol from the Beware advantage. I thought this was so creative, I gotta be honest. Using the machete to measure distances and solve a math problem. I think that's so smart. I really loved this.
Yeah. Why were the other ones so boring in comparison? Like, holy shit.
I
like,
feel
imagine
like, honestly,
if this one wasn't last.
I feel like this season is a lot of let's throw things at the wall and see what works. That's what this season has felt like to me. Because like every journey has been different. Every Beware advantage has been different. And if you're going to keep these same sort of things in place that are inherently very boring by design, at least they're trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I'll take that. I'm not mad at where this season is heading into 47. I just hope that there are a couple different things that change. But Jem does end up getting her idol, and good for her.
I will say that I think the producers have gotten repeatedly unlucky that people just keep fucking up. But also, if people keep fucking up, that's on you. But I mean, throwing stuff at the wall works. So Jem gets her idol. Mm-hmm. Yay. She can save herself.
She can. She has the ability to. So the ladies decide to devise a plan to put 3 votes on Ben and 2 votes on Tim with the extra vote from Maria.
With the caveat that is to not have to deal with Tim playing his idol, which they kind of think he has.
Because at this point, he's convinced, or they're convinced, that he did all of that digging as a fake out, and he actually has the Beware advantage. But as soon as they tell, the difficulty here is that they told Charlie the plan.
Yeah, and Charlie goes, "No, Maria, just like, come here. No, we're not doing that. We're actually voting out Jem. Tim told us to."
Yeah, because Tim is still going after Jem. Jem does not do a good job at mitigating her threat level here because she just goes up to everyone and is like, "Oh my god, who are you voting for?" "No, like, you need to tell me, like, I'm gonna vote with you. Oh my god." And I'm like, girl,
no. I'm so sorry, but no,
diva.
But yeah, it's just it is very, very tiring to just see Jem's game essentially almost fall apart in real time, where we now have Mariah and Jem together, and we have Tim and Ben together. And funnily enough, the original vote was on Ben. But because Ben is this big social threat that everyone should be wary of. But it swaps to Tim because Tim is trying to throw out Jem's name. And Maria and Charlie come together and are like, hey, we're like, what do we do? And we don't get an answer to that. Like, it's actually interesting to not get anything for it. But with that,
we go to tribal where not much is said, honestly. It's their vibe, the vibe tribe. Mariah is thinking that potentially 4 people have extra votes. I don't know where this is coming from, and I don't know what this woman is doing. I'm very confused by this woman. Is she playing the game? Who is she? Is she Liz? I don't know. Is Liz the same person as Mariah? I think so. I do love that Maria was like, we're all lying about what's going to happen, and one of us is about to be blindsided, like, pretty heavily. And that is the case because votes come down. Maria does use her extra vote, I guess, as a way to feign that Ben didn't have a vote. I'm still not sure about this.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't particularly matter, though, because with 4 votes, Jem is voted out.
With her idol.
With her idol in her pocket, walks out, and doesn't say a word.
She, in post interviews, is no longer Siga Strong and does not talk to her tribe mates. She was directly asked, "Are you going to get the Siga tattoo?" And she said, "No, fuck no." Like, she does not want anything to do with them because she feels fucking betrayed. Wow. And I don't blame her, to be honest with you.
It's Survivor. I don't blame her either, but also, girl, it's Survivor. Like,
yeah, it's very. But next episode is Merge.
Merge.
So going into Merge, what do we have?
Merge. Fabulous, wonderful, absolutely incredible Merge. I don't know. Let's find out.
So we have 5 Sigas, with Mariah feeling like she's probably on the out, seeing how she just went at, she was part of the 2 in a 4-2 vote. Mm-hmm. Ben is probably confused as shit.
Yes.
We then have the weird dichotomy of Nami, who never went to tribal and never have reasons to really turn on each other, except for the fact that they're kind of annoyed with Liz and kind of annoyed with Venus.
And the only person with an active advantage on that tribe is Tevin's extra vote from the first journey.
Yeah. And then we have the people who went through fucking war, Rihanna, who
literal
at
war.
This point are dying. And
the only advantage or idol is Tiffany's idol. Tiffany is currently the only person with an active idol in the game.
And then there's a slight asterisk on Hunter, who will get some sort of way to earn an immunity idol because his tribe never lost, along with a missing vote because he didn't know how to put 20 seasons in order. And that's where we leave it, going into Merge with 13 people. Funnily enough, the exact same cast size as Australian Survivor this year. So will we have, I mean, we're going to have 3 people. Either we're not going to have anyone not be on the jury, or we're going to have like 2 people not on the jury, because otherwise like final 3 doesn't work. So we actually got the game to be played at this point. It only took until the Merge.
But hey, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm thrilled, and we will be back next week, same time, same place, same lovely, fabulous, quality content, of course, to talk about the merge episode of Survivor 46. In the meantime, let us know what you thought about this episode. What do you think about Jem going home? What do you think about all three of our Asian contestants going out pre-merge again? But I have to be honest, none of them were good players.
I mean, just kind of got screwed. Just kind of got screwed. Banu
is Banu, and Jem dug herself into a hole just like they dug that tree out. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share on your way out. Go check out all three of our other channels, as well as our membership channel with exclusive content and early access to a lot of our content. All those links are down in the description below. While you're down in the description, you can also go follow our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You could go follow me and Jack as well, and you could go get your merch, including but not limited to Cup Mug, down below as well. And with all that being said,
cheers. Yeah, I think this is the most unhinged we've been in a while.
I really think so. I really think it is.
You ready to report another one?
No.